Hello. Hey, Janica, Alyssa. We missed you last night, Sassy Sarah. You and Aunt Kathy. Katya, hello. How are you? How are you? I said I'm just gonna go live. What the fuck? What the hell? Does everybody have a good day? Anybody? Anybody? Hold on. Oh, I got this. I got this from Torrid. It's a vegan. Hey, Mark. It's a vegan cashmere sweater from my favorite fat girl place, Torrid. Allergic reaction. Who's doing that? I'm gonna know who what during COVID. Don't talk to me about COVID. Oh, Mark. Oh, you did. You. Hey, Laura Lee. Ocean Tide. How are you? Yeah, Mark. I'm shocked. You know, I'm. Was it shocked? Probably not shocked, but when you came in, hey Terry, last Saturday night, and you seemed to like have a good time, and I'm like, well, that's there you go. Oh, your cat. Oh, my cat. Hey, Ziggles. My cat, whose name is Juju Brown. No, his name is Juju. He's a black cat, and then his son. Like a cool way. His son. We have his son, and the son's name is Harry Styles. I named him, and they're just assholes. But I mean, I love them to death, but they're assholes. Hey, hush. We got a good one tonight, people. I love. We missed you, Sarah, so much, and Aunt Kathy, and Aunt Kathy. Hey, that girl. This let me tell you. Y'all know what I do. Hey, Sizzles. I spend the week. Deborah, how are you with these people, Tater? Do you know what I did notice? Let me see. There's a Mitten Mama. There's some shit going on. I don't know if y'all know. Hey, Janica Love. I don't know if y'all know. But Rap has been now moved from where he was to where else he's going. I don't know. And there is a rape charge that he has now on you know. I don't want anybody to be in trouble. I don't want anyone to be victimized. Meaning her. I'm not going to say her name. I wish he had not chosen this route, but he did. And he has got to pay for it. And so all this time that could have been spent working and getting a job and taking care of his boys and his, I don't know what I mean, I know there's two boys. That could have been done. But everything plays out and we'll just have to wait. Hey, Mystery. Hey, Halloween baby. So that's going on. But I saw it somewhere on. All right. So, and I don't know how people feel about these people, but brother, Green Eyes, behind Green Eyes. Hey, Sarah. I didn't want to give attention to those. Well, I'm just going to say it, hey, Curious Idea, how are you? Just get it out there. It has happened. The mugshot's going around. He's got his haircut. Hey, Judy Potter's here. Just what here it is. It's out now, but Behind the Green Eyes is having a twerking contest with Paper Cut Tina. Oh shit, who's the other one? Who's the other one? Anyway, and Traitors. So, listen, they're going, Sarah. Hey, Penny and Bella's mom, how are you? Well, thank you for speaking and thank you for coming out the bushes. With Madonna in her diaper. I mean, look, you got to pump some fun into these things, That's my thing. Just pump some fun into it. But me and Jack the Ripper have been spending a lot of time together. Oh, I was gonna get up last night, Beggar. I was gonna get up in my chair and dance. Y'all didn't want that. Nobody wants. Y'all would have seen my fat ass fall out the chair. You'd have had to heard my husband come to extract me from the floor and probably airlifted from the front yard to the. Okay, Katya. So me and Jack the Ripper, yeah, and his victims have spent a lot of time together. Hey, Canine Charlie, Penny, and Bella's mom. I'm so glad that you've come out of the bushes. I'm so glad. Welcome, welcome. So what I've done, I'll explain this, and if y'all, lots of back issues. So, there are. She want me to. Hers wants me to fall. Some people say that there are 5 victims of Jack the Ripper. All right. And they are the ones that I am going to cover. Other people, equal amount of people believe that there are 11. Hey, Blondie, hey, Teresa, there are 11. Carrie, I love you, baby. They believe that there are 11 victims, not 5, 11. And that the killings went from 1888 to 1891. So, I love this thing. I'm going to do the 5 tonight and go over some of the suspects because there are so many suspects. And I did not have time to go through and take they're all very good suspects. Here's the thing. They're all very good suspects. So, remember for 4 months. Thank you. Hey, Kels. Yeah, Jack and Mike. I love you, Carrie. So, I thought we can either do the 5, right? Do the 5 women that are colloquial or whatever the hell they call it. And talk about, some of the suspects. And next week, move on to the Zodiac Killer. Or, thank you, Vet Girl. Thank you so much. Sarah Girl, hello. Thank you so much. I can't tell you. Or, welcome, Melissa, to the screening room. Or we can move on to the Zodiac Killer next week. Or we can go over the other victims, all right? Yeah, not the 5. We already covered the 5. We'll go over the other 5. I can't. Math is hard. 6. And thank you so much, Katya. Thank you. And go over more in detail some of the suspects. I will leave that up to y'all. I could do either one. Because these suspects, if, one, hey, Mama Cannoli. Patricia Cromwell, who does, mysteries, she writes mysteries. She's figured it out. Got DNA on it, on who it is. Was an artist who eventually taught Winston Churchill. But then you have these other people that've got this other suspect. Then you've got Patricia Cromwell has DNA. She got DNA from one of the guy was an artist. It's a lot. Did you, Mark? I did it, and I'm gonna order it. If you look, all right. So I was watching a video with Miss Cromwell. She has his art all over her house. He only did like prints, little, they weren't huge arts, but little matted in frames. She's got them all over the damn house. All over. And this guy was a genius. He spoke 7 or 8 languages. The bridge word, too many murdered now. Well, I don't know what to do, but y'all can decide. I will put up a poll. I don't know how to do it, but I'll figure it. No, I ain't gonna figure it out, but we'll figure it out. Don't worry. We'll worry. Don't worry. A state of disorder. What they got doing on a Saturday night over here with us talking about criminals? Criminals? All right. Look at me, y'all. Oh, Zodiac for sure. I don't have it all spread out. Hey, Tennessee Poppy, how are you? Who's full of it? What do you know? What do I know? What do you know, Mark? I have all kinds of books like that. I got then we have to talk about, listen, all right. I know some of y'all are not gonna give a shit about this, but Truman Capote, the man who wrote Breakfast at Tiffany's and In Cold Blood, has he was a little he was so openly gay, it's not even funny. Harper Lee was his best friend growing up and through much of their life until he got mad when her book To Kill a Mockingbird did better than his In Cold Blood. Even though when they went, anyway, it's a long story. But on Hulu, Ryan Murphy feuds Truman Capote and the Swans. The Swans are all these hyper huge rich women that Truman kind of attached himself to. He had all their secrets, and he decided to write a book called Answered Prayers. It caused one suicide, Ann Woodward. And so that show is coming on. And somebody said they needed some background. I got it. I got it. Yes, he wrote Breakfast at Tiffany's. Hey, Plain Jane, are you done over there, baby? I can't go over it. Yes, can you imagine though that he and Harper Lee grew up as best friends in these little towns, and both of them became wildly successful. Who knew? And especially in writing. But look, hey, whatever. So I thought maybe because some of y'all are watching it, I would absolutely. Yes, Tails, it came on Thursday night. I did 19. Tiny T, how are you? I watched two, and I only got 2 episodes of it. They make me wait. And I'm already, when I'm watching it, going, that didn't happen. That didn't happen, but whatever. We'll go with it. Thank you, Mitten Mama. Yeah, so we might go and talk about that because Truman, if y'all have never read In Cold Blood, is one of the best books. John Douglas is magical. No, I'm gonna have to, that girl, because y'all know, listen. Tanks, how are you, love? Clover, hey. So when I read In Cold Blood, and that's just recently, I was absolutely blown away. And then I watched the film, and the film, it's off of Truman Capote's book. And it had Robert Blake, and it had the guy, Scott Wilson, who played, and he played Herschel and shit, Walking Dead. So in the movie, all right, and the movie is filmed in the actual house that the murders happened. And it was in the 60s, I said, I don't know, 50s, I don't know. And then I watched the film Capote with Philip Seymour Hoffman. I was like blown away at how much Truman had. He had a lot to do with the two murderers. Well, there's only one murderer, but I was shocked. And he was actually in love with one of them, the one that killed everybody. Didn't he, Mark? Because he's a hard one to, if you go too far with Truman Capote, you get real campy. But campy, yeah, he was in love with shit. Hey, Flossie. He was in love with the one that I can't remember his name now. But yeah, you can't play him. It could come off real campy. The guy that's playing him in this Hulu series, pretty good. France, what are you doing, my love? Perry, thank you, Midnight Baker, and how are you doing? Perry, no, wait a minute, not Perry. Oh, wait a minute, it might be shit. Yeah, I gotta look it up. I wish I had my trusty assistant down here. I can't remember. Guess somebody can check it. He was a genius, and he screwed us. He screwed us by treat HLB in love by doing this. He screwed us all because he was brilliant. But all right, we need to go. In that movie, I will tell you that in the early movie, Robert Blake, you forget how good he was. He was amazing. So now, all right, we're going to go back. We're going to go back in time. We're going to go back to London in 1888. And there are sections of London. You think, there's east, there's west, north, and south. And in West London, beautiful parks, beautiful clothes, little carriages. Everything was wonderful. But as soon as you go down to the east of London, you got a problem. So let me see if I can present. When I read some of these statistics, it's really, this is not just a story about murders. It's really not. It's about, why is this all the way here? I don't know who fucks with my shit. Now listen to, I have the thing going by, right, that it says we'll put her let's see, hold on. There's Miss Victoria. There's the Queen, y'all. There's the Queen. She was living, looking good. Can y'all see that, or is that way too small? Is that a little bit bigger? Hey, Kimmy Cassie, what are you doing? They looked at, that everybody, if y'all ever go to, if you have like local museums in your town, everybody, the men wore size 2Ts. I've never seen anything like it in my life, but anyway. So down in East London, Whitechapel, and they named it Whitechapel because there is a chapel there that is whitewashed. And Pagel's here. Pagel. So while Victoria there is living good, immigrants are beginning to pour into London. They're coming from Ireland. They're coming from Israel, because there's Israel, they are running from, the Jews are running. So all of these people are starting to come in, right? Well, guess what? Not a lot of room. But whatever, they're coming, and there's strife with them. They'll fight each other. They'll do this, but generally, there was for men enough work. They worked the docks. They did a lot of like butchering and stuff. They did a lot of that. So, if you were a man, you were still at a dump, but you weren't a woman. These women that we're going to talk about, though, for whatever reason, they are. I'll tell you when we get there. Were no longer wives. They were no longer mothers. And if you were a divorced mother, if your ex-husband gave you a little bit of money, then and I'm talking like a little bit of money. That's all he really had to do. He didn't have to do anything else. So there were brothels, the estimated number of brothels was 62 just in East London. It's not a big, huge area, okay? It's not a big. And 1,200 prostitutes were also down in East London and Whitechapel. Also, let me show you this. And here, I mean, look at the street here. Can y'all see that? If y'all can't see that, I'm gonna be so pissed off. This is what they did. I mean, look at the streets. In those gutters is raw sewage. In the middle of the street is horse shit. I mean, I get it, but this is, look at her little apron. I mean, it's filthy. It's filthy. And we'll go get another shot. What is this? Oh, that's the same one. All right, so sleeping arrangements. They had boarding houses back there. Hey, country girl. They had boarding houses. And when I say boarding houses, I mean you stayed there for the night. That's it. Get out, right? It was usually 4 pence a night or 4 pennies, all right? So these women would, a lot of them would, spend the day turning tricks, drinking all of their profits, coming down to the, how in the sorry a minute. I mean, here that's beds. That's what the basically beds look like. Obviously this is the male one. You just had straw in a box. You slept in a coffin. And that was 4 pence. So these women would have it and then go drinking it away and then come back and couldn't get in and then had to go try to find a John so they could get back 4 pence. Sometimes they did, sometimes they didn't. So they would, this is, if you look behind these women, there are children there. They're children. The sad part of this is, hey, Seth M., how are you? The sad part is, Rachel, my love, 50% of the children who were born in East London only had a 50% chance of living till age 5. So that tells you, that's if you know 20 people, say 20, 25 people, right? And you're going to a funeral all the damn time. If you think about it. I mean, they had, tuberculosis. It was, when you get around, the lucky ones got beds. And these women would kind of, get up together and be like a little gang and try to look out for each other. And like I said, they used to be mothers and they used to be wives. None of these women, one of the women, Miss Annie Chapman, grew up in Windsor, England, where Windsor Castle is. So she would play, around those. And then, she turned it. But it happened because another thing that was rampant, average gal, is most of them were alcoholics, the women. So when Annie, let's look up, Polly is our first victim. Polly, she and her husband had 5 children, had 6 children. So a lot of people will tell you it's 5, but her oldest child died at 1 year and 9 months. And she never recovered. She kept having babies. She didn't recover. And back then, they didn't take you down to, you didn't get it. So you can sleep. Oh, well, there's different ways you can sleep. There's cheaper ways. I'll show you. I will show you the cheaper ways to sleep. All right. This, and I am not joking. I am not joking, y'all. Feel like, who's this? I am not joking. This is for 2 pennies. You could sit on a bench, throw your upper arm and chest over a rope, and sleep like that. And that was, I mean, and there's nowhere to go. Where are you going to go in this city? And I've tried to think about, like, if you walk out, if a woman walks out of the door with her, and back then they had the petticoats and then, and you walk through there's human waste coming down the street. What do? Pick your shit up? Right now you're doing. You cross the street and get cow shit. You'd be walking down the street and find people passed out because they couldn't get into a thing and they just passed out. A lot of these, the first woman, when they found her, 2 people found her, they said, she's just drunk. Set her up. One guy kept saying, set her up. I guess he didn't want her to vomit on herself. Even then, they know. And they didn't know there was a ripper yet, Mark. They didn't know it. They about to find out. Yeah, he just wanted to prop her up. And this was at 3:30 in the morning. These men would leave for work and walk to work at 3:30 in the morning. They were called carmen, but carmen were just delivery guys. Hey, Freeside. So in the late 1800s, in this little bitty spot in London, England, East Side, there were 900,000 people living in that filth. Just filth. There were bars on there are bars open in this area now in England that were open back then, same name. The one that my girl, Polly, liked to go to, and some of the others, was called the Frying Pan. The Frying Pan. So let me make sure. Oh yeah, okay. So I'll show you this. I'll show you in a little while. There's just mazes and roads. It's not like there's one that goes right down the middle, which is called Whitecastle Street, I think, and that's where all the shops were. There was nowhere to effing go. Where are you going to go? If you made 4 pennies to sleep in your, with your roommates, I don't know what they had. I know a lot of syphilis was, syphilis. Don't get me started about the syphilis. I'm making sure I got everything. Making the street incredibly dark. Yeah, dark. Yeah, they didn't have any lights. They didn't have any like gas lights. They had them, but they didn't have them like the other places in England had them. They had them, knocked out every here and there. So, all right, let me make sure. I was so studious, and I kept up so good with my notes. I didn't have them laying around going, oh. Now I say that and I'll miss it. All right, there we go. I'm pretty sure I got everything. Like, this was extreme. But can you imagine just crossing a damn street? Just crossing a street to get and go over to West, because some of these women tried to go get jobs over there to be, seamstress, maids, whatever, but they were alcoholics. And, that's, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So let's get down to it. All right, hold on. I have not been able to stay hydrated. Hey, Earth, I love you to Uranus and back. Can you imagine, Sour Girl? I can't. Obviously, we can't imagine. But your every day as you're walking outside trying to keep your dress out of the shit from, teared up the street. No, I'm not doing that. I ain't doing that. I ain't doing it. All right. Now we have Polly. Her name was Mary Ann Nichols, but everybody called her Polly. And let me get her up for y'all. I have to go over here because I didn't do something right. Damn it. I think that's just a street. I don't know. Oh, here. Oh, this is the actual Elephant Man who lived down here in East London, a.k.a. Whitechapel. There he is right there. He was a resident. When he got taken from, people tried to put him in a circus and shit. So that's an actual photograph of him. Now, this is Polly. All right, Marianne Nichols Polly. She was 42 years old. She had a lot of death in her life. She had a lot of death. She watched her mother die. She, horrible. She watched her brothers. 4 of her 5 brothers and sisters died. You name it. You name the, the disease, they got it. The mother would keep having children. But anyway. So, as I said before, Polly's first child died. That's why people think she only had 5 children. She had 6. And she didn't quite ever recover from it. So on August 23rd, 1845, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Oh, that's when Oliver. She was married for 16 years. And here's what happened. Her husband, she drank. So, she drank. But the husband fell in love with the neighbor. Hey, lucky Lou. And they started having an affair. So he told the judges and whatnot she was drunk. So they let, she went away. Now, he had to pay her, I want to say it was like 12 pence a month. I think it was 12 pence a month. And when he found out that Polly was a prostitute, he went to the judge and said, I'm not giving her any more money. And the judge said, no, you're not. So, even that little 12, that 12 pence ain't going to get her through the damn one week, but whatever. So she bounced around from workhouses, and look, workhouses were just as bad as the street. You went in there, you got a card, you were a item to them. And it is exactly what it sounds like, a workhouse. And you didn't get diddly do. You didn't get much at all. So she tried to do these. She tried to go the avenues, right? She tried the workhouse. She tried to get a job, in a home. Alcohol. I have to imagine she missed her family a lot over the time. Sorry. All right. Wait a minute. One of her, I don't even remember writing this. Is that one of her roommates remembered her as Polly Nichols, was very clean, but melancholy. That's a nice thing to have him say. Polly was very clean, but she was melancholy. But I guess in 1888, that's a good thing. So we're going to go through her day. We're going to go to her day. She spent her last evening alive drinking and laying in a gutter. Bless her heart. So after drinking at the frying pan, she in East London, she returned to the lodging home, but she didn't have enough money to get even inside. So one of her customers had given her a straw hat with black velvet trim on it. It's a bonnet. And she really loved it. So she said, you know what? I'll go get it. All right, I'll go get the money right now. I'm going to use my bonnet. My bonnet will be lucky. Stuff. Not quite. I've had my dust money. They called it dust money. 3 times today. She said, she can make 3 shillings. I'll make it try to get it all. So Polly walks around the corner and no more Polly. No one sees her. So at about 2:30, her friend, her roommate, sees her and tries to get her to come back to the lodging house. She won't do it. She would not do it. And so what could the friend do? So at about 3:30 in the morning, now, I also want to say this. these streets, when I show you these streets, I'm gonna do it in just a second. You had policemen that patrolled in a pattern to where every street was covered every half hour. All right. And it's a lot of different streets, and it's a lot of different ways that they went. I don't know how they kept up with it at all. But so here we go. Here's all right. So they find her. Listen to this. They find her. I don't think y'all can see that. I don't think y'all can see that. If it's not, is it not big enough? All right. So here's Polly's injuries. Now, one of the men that I'm going to mention is a potential suspect, okay? And there's a lot of reasons why he's a potential suspect, but anyway. So one man came walking, he said, "Oh shit, I'm late, you know. Oh no, I'm so late." His name was Perry something. And you had Charles walking to work as well. Now, they were walking in the same direction. They should not have been any further away than 30 to 40 feet from each other, okay? Well, this Charles guy walks up on the body. She's laying out in front of a stable, gate. And the other guy comes and he's like, "Oh shit." He said, "Yeah, let's prop her up." The other guy felt her, see if she was breathing, touched her face, touched her chest to see if she was breathing. And she won't. So he and Charles went up the street. So they see a cop. Charles looks at the guy and says, "I'll take care of this." He walks over to the cop and he says, "Hey, there's a woman down there that's dead. And there's a cop that needs help." And so that policeman that he talked to, this guy doesn't hear it at all, right? He doesn't hear what he said. That guy takes off down there. The luckiest thing that ever happened to Charles Cross was that by then another cop had indeed shown up there. All right. So there was only the one they stopped had just been there 15 minutes ago. This man had 15 minutes to get her, pull out whatever. He laid her down, all right, on the ground. He propped up her legs. Now y'all gonna need to remember this. You remember when we went through Lizzie Borden, right? And the lack of blood and splash and all that. Nobody can really figure out why. Well, what this man had done to Polly was, first he had choked her to death, so that when he took the knife and slit her throat twice, all the way down to the vertebrae, not a lot of blood came out. Not a lot. There was none on her up here. Okay. I mean, there was some had come out, like maybe on the side. He had pulled up her skirt and started trying to slice around the abdomen. He always went for the abdomen. All right. And probably either he got, either somebody was coming, because he was found. Charles Cross was found standing over the body by the second guy, right? And he was, out, and then he wouldn't touch the thing. All right, so they came to collect her. Bless her heart. Let me find her. Let me find the thing. Hold on. I'm gonna give you her. I'm gonna give you her. I'm going to describe the injuries. Our last girl, there is a photograph of her. Our last. It's a hard one to go look. It's all over. It's online. It's hard to look at. And yeah, so we're going to see what happened to Polly. So she had 2 cuts to the throat. It severed everything except the spine. He attempted to he did get the abdomen a couple of times. There was bruises right here on this side and this side, which they say is probably the thumbs of the man that choked her to death. So we know she was dead when he stabbed her because there was no blood. None came out, which I think is still amazing. So he got in there, but he got in there. Oh, this is Chapman. Hold on, I'm doing the wrong one. But he did sever everything up to the spine, cuts in the abdomen, bruise on each side of his face. Yeah. So Polly got off relatively easily, I guess. I don't know. So that was on August 31st. On September 8th, we have another young lady. And her name is Annie Chapman. And hold on. So I'm going to show you. These are not bad. This is the morgue photograph, but it's not, bad. But that is all that's left. And honest to God, this is what kills me about this, is I had to hunt for the one of her alive. I had to hunt and hunt and hunt. But this one right here, soon as you put her name in, I don't even know what to say to that. So we have her. Here's the little maze of streets. Now, Whitechapel is bigger than this little depiction right now, but this is just going to show y'all how close these murders were to each other, within a mile and within this little area right here. And so number one is where Polly got. So on September, we get number two. We get number two right down the street from Polly. Her name is Annie Chapman. This is her wedding photo. And I got it zoomed up. So she was married. She had children. Another thing of, they had a really good life. They had a little daughter. She did end up dying of meningitis, though. I mean, none of these women there obviously have happy stories, but her and her husband divorced. She went down to Whitechapel. She was living at the Crossingham Lodge house at 35 Doyster. Let me see if it's even. There's Doyster right here, if y'all can see my thing. So it's right over here. Along with approximately 300 other people. 300 other people. You don't have indoor plumbing. You have drunks everywhere. You're probably, because when some of these girls, when, they're examined, they didn't have hardly any food in their stomach. So, I mean, this was 300 people. Oh my Lord. All of them paying, y'all know, 3 pence for a bed. So let me see. Consumption and other stuff. It's the manager talking about how they have consumption, which is I think, I've seen it before. I don't really know what it means. Consumption, they're sickly. But that Annie was stout and heartily and was potentially suffering from tuberculosis and or syphilis. I still love her. I can't help it. I love her. All right, so September 8th, she left the house sometime around 1 a.m. because you could come and go. But they had somebody at the door. You better believe that. She told the manager that she had to save up for her bed. She'd be back. I will be back were her last words. Another thing that happened in Annie's life is her father slit his own throat in front of her. These women have horrible. And you know what? They have horrible lives, and I have sifted through some of this and taken some of the shit out because it's just horrible. I mean, anyway. All right. So she was spotted with a man at 29 Hambury Street at 5:30 a.m. Now, the witness heard the man ask Chapman, "Will you?" And they heard her say yes. So then around 5:45, Albert, I can't say this guy's, I got Albert. Y'all know Albert. Albert from up the street. Albert, who was living at the 27 Hanbury Street, walked into his backyard, and as he passed the fence that separated the house from the other backyard, he finds a body. Y'all can guess who it is. So again, he doesn't know right away. Thank you, Alice. That's what I thought it was. You eat your own boogers. Way to go, Mark. Way to go. Way to recycle. He thought she was drunk. So then he realized real quick that she wasn't. So I'm trying to read it. Hold on. At a little before 6, John Davis, a carman that lived in the lodging house with his family, found Chapman's mutilated corpse. Davis, he cried out to the man. I could see the woman was indeed, I could see that the woman was dead, said James Kent, one of the witnesses. She had some kind of handkerchief around her throat, and it was soaked with blood. Her hands and face were covered with blood. If she'd been strangled, I don't know that she was strangled. So the news of her death started going up and down the street, and so let's talk about her. Let's get into her injuries. Let me see. I had to pull them all out and be different because there's so many. There's so goddamn many of them. Hold on, people. It's dead. And let me tell you what they do. I should have taken a picture of this. They call it an ambulance, but what it is basically is a wooden, a long wooden wheelbarrow, and it had like ambulance right across of it, and if somebody was dead, it covered them. Your grandmother. It used to be a real thing. I mean, listen, because I know all about the old stars and stuff, and they would go to all these sanatoriums, not sanitarium, the nice ones where they get try to get rid of TB. Dr. George Phillips arrived at the scene and pronounced her dead at 6:30, and this would be in the morning. Her throat was cut so severely that her head was barely attached to her body. This guy loved the neck. Her abdomen had also been cut, laid open. As Phillips said, the small intestines and other portions were laying on the right side of the body on the ground, above the right shoulder, but attached. There was a large quantity of blood. There was part of the stomach that was above the other shoulder. Her uterus and 2/3 of her bladder were removed. Since no trace of these organs were found, the killer was assuming to have taken, they figured that he took them with him. Thank you, girl, thank you. Suggesting that he wanted to keep them. Anyway, so all of this had been done. All right, get this. Golden Beaver! All of this was done in pitch black. There's no lights back there. You were in the pitch black, and under 30 minutes, this man did this. I understand why he didn't come out covered in blood the first time, because we know, slice that. And maybe he choked the first, Polly before he slit her throat. And we'll see a ramp up. We'll see a ramp up with him. We certainly will. So there was an inquest, obviously. And there's nothing you can say. He said what happened, and that was that. The foreman later reported, I asked the police for a photograph of the deceased. Yeah, he wanted a photograph, and the guy was like, I ain't giving you no photograph. So maybe they did have some good guys back there. Yeah, so that's Annie. That's Annie. So we got one, we got two. Let's go for three. Let me get to that. Hold on. Oh yeah. Let me show you her. Okay. All right. Now, this is a very good. While it's a very good thing that I can look at it. All this would be, if y'all can. I don't know if y'all can see that. All of this is cut wide open. All right. There's a lot of damage over here on her shoulder. And her throat is also the graphics they use for these are I didn't get it. I didn't get it because like that'll be a bruise, even though that's her stomach, but then there's under it's a bruise and the thing is a bruise. So this is where her intestines that were still attached. So everybody kept saying, "Oh shit, it's a doctor. It's got to be a doctor." The coroner. There's no way this is not a doctor. I don't know. So the local undertaker, also, let me just add this. The local undertaker donated the hearse rides to get them to the pauper's field. I think there are four graves left. One of the graves has been plowed over and reused. I did not make the rules. All right, so then also, let me get over here. So we have the same corner, obviously. Now he's looking at Pauling and he's looking at Anne and he's going, we got a problem, y'all. We've got a problem. Yeah, exactly. So I'll go, oh, we're a butcher. And there was a lot of butchers there. So now there were letters that came in to the police. And the first letter, and I'll show you when we get back because it doesn't make any sense. And nobody believed it was from Jack the Ripper, okay? Even though he named himself supposedly. The letter writer knew a lot about the crime, but so did reporters that were there, right? So I think it's 3 letters that came in. Only one of them might be from Jack the Ripper. Again, he named himself. And yeah, I don't know. And most of those letters that he would write them to newspapers, they don't have them. They just don't have them anymore. They're gone. So we had a possible, let's cut from this. All right, hold on. We go. When we get to this last one, y'all, when we get to this last one, it is bad. It is bad. All right, nope, lost it. Oh no, here it is, right here. Hold on. The deceased was still carrying a handkerchief around her neck, and it appeared to be slightly torn. I have since ascertained it was cut. This corresponded with the right angle cut along the jaw. The throat was deeply gashed, and there was an abrasion on the skin about 1.5 inches in diameter, approximately, stained with blood under her right arm. So then we have Dr. Frederick Blackwell add his 2 cents. And he sees everything that this guy does, cut in the neck. So he, again, nearly severed everything in the neck. The windpipe completely gone. Blood was running down. All right. Blood was running in the gutter the way she was positioned. So, as we know, blood don't run if your heart is still beating. The incision was so deep, in fact, that Elizabeth's head was barely attached, so we knew that. Because of the look of the mutilation performed on Elizabeth, that's wrong. That's not the right one. The police weren't sure. All right, sorry about it. Sorry, babies. All right, babies. These postmortems. Look at this shit. Hold on. It's endless. It is endless with these. I've spent so much time in the gutter with these ladies. All right. Again, small intestine still attached by the cord. A part of the abdomen lay across her right shoulder. 2 flaps of skin from lower abdomen lay in a large quantity of blood. Left shoulder and throat deeply cut in a jagged manner. A handkerchief was around the neck. Her face was swollen and turned to the right. Her tongue was very swollen, protruding between her teeth. Her limbs were not stiff, but the throat was. Why did it say, but the throat was deeply cut? So it said the incisions within were reached and they were cold, but remained in the body under the intestines. That's nasty. Trying to make sure I got everything. Yeah. All right, so we have a next girl coming. We have a next one. We have Elizabeth Stride coming. Now, this was, hey, Ava, this was a bad day for Jack the Ripper because he had picked his victim out. And y'all tell me, all right, so if this was a doctor, say a doctor, right? He was in that area at the time. Yeah, well, here's the thing, Mark. He had to know this area very well. All right. I don't know that he picked the women out. I think he knew they'd be patrolling around at a certain time. But I think maybe he picked a spot out that he was comfortable with. Because you're dragging a woman back behind somebody else's yard with no light. You don't know what's back there. And then you just go start hacking on her. If you're a well-dressed doctor, you're going to stay out like a sore thumb. A lot of these women were seen by, a short guy with a Navy-like hat, like the service Navy. 2 witnesses on 2 different women saw a man with those kind of hats. One was short, one was tall, one was fat, one was skinny. They're not the same person. So, well, Sour Girl, this is what I found out too. There were music houses near Whitechapel. They were on the other side of the road, mind you, but they were real close. And that's where a lot of men would go watch a show and then come out and get another show. You know what I'm saying? So I learned that today, actually. So let me get you. Let's look at. These women to me are just. You look at those photos. All right, and here she is, and that's the coroner's photo. And like I said, again, it was a little easier to get her photograph, her wedding photograph, a little easier. But when you put in, this is the shit that pops up. Not a woman, not a woman. So yeah. And then here's her. We already looked at that, and there's that. All right. For some reason, okay. Okay. Yeah. Here's all five of them already. Again, you can see how close everything is within a mile. One, two, three, four. When we get up here to five, it's not good. Five is not good. So number four gets over here on right almost on Whitechapel Road. And that's that big divide, right? That all the shops are on Whitechapel. On these secondary streets would be pubs, specialty shops, butchers, whatever the hell. And this is Elizabeth Stride, who I think is quite lovely. Um, Again, she's got a story. She got a story, and it's the same story the other two had. She was married. She had children. It didn't work out. She became she became a alcoholic. She tried to do the right thing. She tried to work in houses. She couldn't do it. She ended up just being a prostitute. I really don't know that you were. Oh man, I just try to think of being cast out because these women were all right. So far, I didn't even mention this. 40, 42, 47. These were women in their 40s. Now, if you're a woman out there, holla holla. When you start going up in these decades, like being 40, you are some women. Sorry, I'm just sorry. Cast out. Women don't age as gracefully as men do. Hey, David Jones. I think, yeah, David, it's just to be left. Just for somebody to say, you know what? Yeah, I married you, but I don't give a shit what happens to you right now. I don't know. It's crazy. Hold on, let me try to blow. If I try to blow something up, I will actually blow it up. Can y'all see that any better? It didn't do what it did last time, which was let me scroll down right here. I never feel like my pictures are big enough. All right, so this is Elizabeth Stride. She is the only victim that the Ripper did not mutilate. Didn't do it. Only victim. And Elizabeth was aware of the dangers of living out there and walking the streets at night, and she did it anyway. She moved to Whitechapel in the 19th century, of course. Elizabeth was also known as Long Liz and had few opportunities and fewer funds. So these women would not be very educated. I want to say back then women were raised to be wives. You're not. They're not teaching you math. Whatever. I don't know. But they cast her out. She was actually born in Sweden, right? And her family came over. She got married. They got separated as she started and took her chances in the streets of Whitechapel. She was known to tell people that her husband and children died in the infamous Thames River steamship. All right, so this was her thing. A steamship crashed into another ship on the Thames River, and about 600 to 700 people died. Her family did not. That's not the way that they were very much alive. But I think in her mind, she's like, okay, this is, you know what? I'd rather them be dead. Let them be dead. I don't know. I'm trying to, I wonder if any woman had a, well, I don't, you know what, Julie? That's a great question. That's a great question because I haven't seen not one, and I've been looking. When he got you, he would trap you basically. One of the first one with Paula, he got her in a part of that street, and it was she actually was up against a wood fence. She didn't have anywhere to go, but he had to know the cop was coming in 15 minutes. So he got it done. So Elizabeth was the only one, and she was murdered, but she was not mutilated. And, they were thinking probably because something, happened. Somebody showed up and he had to go. So, and I got to find the dates of these. Hold on. I hate shuffling paper. I hate shuffling paper on stream. But I had them laid out. Here we go. On the very bottom. All right. So this was September 30th. All right. So we have Polly on August 31st. We have Annie a week later. And then on the 8th. And on the 30th, we have Elizabeth. And we're going to meet Catherine in a minute because he got a twofer that day. So he couldn't get, apparently he couldn't, somebody came, something happened. One of the lodging houses was located at Flower and Dean Street. And again, she needed to go get her money. So at 7:30 p.m., Elizabeth was spotted at a house on Flower and Dean Street dressed for a night out. She left the lodging house, likely hoping to earn a few pounds on the dimly lit streets of London. Later in the evening, a man named J. Best spotted Elizabeth on the sidewalk with a short man whom was sporting a dark mustache and wearing a billycock. Stop laughing. The billycock is the kind of hat that the people in the Navy wore. So this is the first time the billycock has showed up. Sorry, I have to keep saying it, but Peachy, I love you, baby. All right, so he had his billycock on. I'll say that for the rest of my life. And he looked like he had on a morning suit and jacket. Back then, you wore special suits for a allotted amount of time, generally very nice suits, if you were mourning somebody in your family. So this guy apparently came straight from the funeral. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know. So, I get a secretary. All right, morning shirt. Best later, he said he was huggy something and kissing her, and as he seemed a respectable man. I don't even know what the fuck. I must have been drunk. I'm just kidding. I don't drink. All right, so seeing the couple carrying on, Bess lightheartedly called out and said, "Hey, watch out for leather apron." Now, let's talk about leather apron. Somebody wrote a letter to a townsperson and signed it leather apron. He also wrote, he called himself leather apron. And that's what they were calling Jack the Ripper, was leather apron, because supposedly he was the killer. He was crazy, right? Now, why would they wear leather aprons? A lot of reasons, depending on what they were. If you were a butcher and all that, you didn't want, you didn't want to cut yourself. You know what I'm saying? Any other work, leather aprons were quite a thing around there. Who's that beautiful woman on the bottom right? Is that me? Is it me? You're silly. All right, yeah. So watch leather aprons getting around you. All right, so a suspect is even more circle, or the suspect had even been referred to the written letter. Oh yeah, Jack the Ripper. All right, hold on. So the only victim, like I said, Jack did not mutilate. She was probably well aware of the danger lurking in the midnight streets. Did I already read this part? Yes, I did. I'll say, because of this frolicking, Elizabeth and the man took off down the street for somewhere a bit more private. So she had her some work. They didn't get far, though. Not far at all. Another man saw them kissing. Okay. His name was Mr. Burr. No. William Marshall saw them kissing, ran him off again. Police Constable William Smith saw the couple while he was doing his nightly rounds. Like I said, every 30 minutes, they had a cop going around one of these streets. So Israel Schwartz was the last person to see her after midnight. So, as he later reported, he saw a man stop and speak to Elizabeth, who then could not, but he couldn't identify him. And then she went out to go walking on her midnight stroll. This is horrible. After that short interaction, the man pulled a woman into the street, turned her around, and drew her into the sidewalk. Schwartz heard the woman scream 3 times, but when he saw a second man lighting a cigarette in the same whatever, he thought it was a scuffle. Now I wonder, I forgot I wrote that. So she would scream 3 times because they were getting raped all the time down there, as we all know. I mean, that's a story today when you get them out, All right, so Schwartz described the man as approximately 30 years old with dark hair, a small mustache. He said the man was dressed in an overcoat and an old black felt hat with a wide brim. The next time anyone saw Elizabeth, she was dead. Around 1 a.m., a guy named Lewis entered the Burner Street driving his horse and carts. At the entrance of Dute Field's yard, his horse stopped and would not go any further. It stopped in its tracks. So he figured it was a drunk because the horse never would walk over a drunk. You can't make this up. That's when he saw a flash of Elizabeth, still and bloody. Yeah. So, shaking with fear, he ran into a nearby International Working Women's Educational Club to call for help. There's a woman laying in the yard. I can't say whether she's drunk or dead. So they come down to get her. They look, she's dead. Still warm to the touch. Blood flowed from her neck at one point. It wasn't flowing anymore. She had flowers pinned to her jacket, which she didn't have before. When she left her house, her boarding house, she was holding a box of sweets and a handful of grapes. And he got them. Let me see. Hold on, I'm gonna get this. I've been with these people. Oh my God, I cannot believe I just done that. I did just do it. All right, so we're at number 4 now. She's all the way up here. All the way up here. And here's her. Not really. She's got one on her chin up there. And she's got bruises on her shoulder. I think all she had was bruises. Let me see. So, face still slightly warm. Blood stopped flowing from the throat. Wound further in the yard. Oh, yeah, this was not good. She, her blood was again running down the gutter. So, that's the second time he'd done that. Pulled her out there to do it, or just did it. There was little blood by the neck anymore. There was a pound. Oh my God. All right. A pound of clotted blood on the body. She appeared quite placid. So she wasn't, her head was turned into the carriage wheel. Neck was deeply gashed, and let's see, neck, a long incision was exactly corresponded with the lower border of the chin. This is what he does. This is what he did. He got a windpipe, as usual, completely down to the down to the vertebrae and whatnot. So, body found laying on its back, head turned to the left, shoulders, shoulder arms at the side. So she had her hands down, palms up. Her clothes again pushed up because he would push their clothes up. He would prop their legs up, so where their feet were like, on the ground, like flat on the ground. He loved that. Hold on. I'll find you here. Oh, this is okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. I know why I did this. All right. So clothes pushed up to the abdomen, thighs naked, abdomen exposed, face disfigured, intestines drawn out and placed over right shoulder, and were smeared over with fetulent. I can only imagine what that is. I think that's poo-poo. So he smeared her intestine with feces, basically. Another section of intestines were placed between the left arm and body, near the left side of the neck, shoulder, and upper arm. There was the more clotted blood on the pavement that had sloped, and that pretty much accounted for all the blood. They could see it. Fluid blood under the neck and right, no spurting. The body was quite, rigor mortis had set in. I don't know why he put quite. Rigor mortis had set in. Had not set in. Sorry, had not set in. No blood on the skin. No blood on the abdomen. No sign of blood below the woman's middle part. Thing. So the postmortem were hours later. Green discoloration over an abdomen. Recent bruising. The eyelid was cut. There was a deep slash on the bridge of her nose. He cut her cheek. He cut the tip of her nose off. He cut her throat again, deep down to the, y'all know the deal. Frontal abdominal walls cut open from the pubic area to the breastbone. Liver was stabbed left of the groin. A stab wound, cuts made between the thighs and labium on both sides. Stomach had very little food or fluid. Intestines had been detached, and right kidney bloodless and pale. The gallbladder had bile. Pancreas was cut in two. Kidney cut. Uterus lining cut. Wound cut out. How is he not mutilated? Wait a minute. How is she not mutilated? Or I just go straight to the next one. I don't know. Anyway, all right. Yeah. So now y'all's read right here, right? They didn't have a kidney. Well, the only letter that they think is true and real is a really short letter. Doesn't say much at all, but enclosed is a kidney, a human kidney, a piece of it. And they took it to wherever the hell they had to take it to. And that person said, this is indeed a human kidney. Yeah. So that one had to be, that had to, the one that was disjointed. I think I'm pretty sure I've got a translation of it because you can't really read it. The dude did hate women. And I don't even know what the hell. I don't know what to say. That's what I'm saying. I spend time with these people, right? And I get to know them. Like I knew Catherine's kids, I know their names. I just can't think of them right now. And I've got a list of Polly's kids' names somewhere. And I gotta find this last one. I gotta find this last one because this is not good. It's gonna be here somewhere. So our last victim, or not, I don't know. Like I said, some people say that there were 11 over 3 years, 4 years, and some said there was only 5, and it took from August to November. So I don't know. All right, so let's go. We're gonna hit this last victim. Do you know what I did? I did get it mixed up because we're not on the last one yet. We're going to number 2 on the 30th. September 30th. All right, let's get this second one that he got. Her name was Catherine Eddowes. Catherine Eddowes. Let me find her. Catherine, where you at, girl? Catherine Eddowes. Let me. Oh, no. Yeah, nope. You son of a bitch. All right. All right. So there's Elizabeth Stride is the one that didn't get any. Here's the one. This letter is basically called From Hell. This is the From Hell letter. This started coming in. And you notice how it's red. It is not blood. It is paint. So somebody took time to write the letter and then turned around and took more time to paint over it in red. And here's what it says. Mr. Lusk. Y'all, if y'all can see, I hope you can see this. It's really bad, misspelled. So sorry, sore. I send you half the kidney I took from one woman, preserved it for you, toother piece. I fried and I ate it. Was very nice. I may send you a bloody knit that took it out if you only wait a little longer. Sign, catch me if you can, Mr. Lusk. Mr. Lusk was not a police officer. He was I want to say a local like he's a local good guy, right? I mean, he would try to help these people and whatever he could do and try to clean the place up and whatnot. And this is what, so they're thinking this right here is the one that's real. But again, the one, I don't know if the one before this or after this, but they all started to be, all right, so this is, I don't want to give her a name that she ain't got. All right, now this is Catherine Eddowes. Now, she was found only 45 minutes after Elizabeth's body was found. So the body that didn't get much damage, I don't know how I got all that damage on there. This woman was found 45 minutes later. He cut a piece of, it was short wall. Hold on. Her murder had many of. Hell. Oh, no, never mind. I got it. So when they found her, they said, again, oh shit, this is number 4, basically. Where they know that they're counting from Annie. I don't even know when they included Polly. I don't even know. But I mean, obviously she needs to be there. And listen, there was women killed after this. So anyway, because of how close Endo's was found to Elizabeth, and because of the rushed nature of Miss Stride, which is Elizabeth, the murder, let me see. The police believe that Whitechapel's Night Stalker, that's what they were calling him, had been interrupted during the first murder and forced to flee the scene, thus finishing his work and not finishing his work. So in support of this theory, this guy Lewis later claimed that the murderer must have still been in the pitch black when the body was found and just standing there. Especially because, I mean, they always feel in body parts. Her her arms and hands were still warm. Um, yeah. So yeah, bless her heart. I can't with this no more. The killer must have escaped into the night. So the Ripper managed to run away from Elizabeth's body undetected, only to lure a second woman into a secluded area to do the deeds. And yeah, so after the two murders, London authorities yet again got another letter, and it was that it's the Hill, that's the Hill letter. All right, so I think I've read this for her, but I'll do it again. A piece of Catherine's apron had been ripped off. I remember this, and was found quickly by the officer and on Gloucester Street. Um, he noticed that there was some anti-Semitic writing. Okay, now let me tell you about this. So there was some anti-Semitic writing, apparently, near her body, like up on a wall, right? And because this was a really race, it's you have Jews in there, you've got, it's a lot going on in that little area. And so something apparently was written above her. I can't even tell you what it was. I heard it today in one of the things I watched. I heard it, and it said not, it was basically not the Jews. It didn't make a lot of sense. So her body was right under that. So that was going to cause a big problem had they seen it, right? So the captain decided he was going to wash it off. And one of the other cops said, "No, let's get a picture of it. So we'll have it." He went, "No." And they moved her body out and washed that shit off right away. So a lot of her evidence went down the road because he didn't want anybody seeing it, and it start a war or whatever. So that's what happened to him. To her, I mean, um, yeah, it's bad. All right, let me find out what happened to her. I think I read to y'all what happened to her. Sorry, I got these mixed up. So let's get to this last one. I don't want to get to this last one. Hold on. The last one is Mary Jane Kelly. And here we go. Nope, wrong one. Mary Jane Kelly. And we can show you. This is Elizabeth Strides. And I know it's, it's not, let me tell you, it's not the worst. So this is Miss Mary Jane. You make sure I got it right. Yep. I think there might be another photograph of her out there, but again, hard to find. But her death photo everywhere. And when I read to you what he did to her, we're gonna be here a minute. We're gonna be here a minute. He did a lot. He did a whole lot, and it took him a while. But this was the only murder that wasn't done outside in the elements. He got her in a room, right? So he didn't have to worry about nobody coming. Oh, he didn't have to worry about none of it. So he took his time. He took his time. And that's just that little thing right there that you can imagine. So he got her. I don't think she might not. I think the one woman that was not a drunk was Miss Stride. I don't think she had any liquor in her, but she also didn't have a stomach either. So, I mean, I could have been very wrong. When they take the stomach away, they kind of messes you up. Y'all, I think my Quinny said she was scared to talk about. She was. I know they are poor women, but it's like I don't know what I'm trying to describe. Like when you're writing it down, when I find it, when I get this little honey hole of the actual coroner's, the autopsy report, and you start reading it and you're like, and, horrible. You feel horrible, but then you're like, this was a person. This was a person that screwed up probably in their life. Who hasn't? But in England, right then, didn't matter. It didn't matter. You got thrown into the goddamn East, Whitechapel, and had to learn to. All right. So let's see. Here we go. We have Jack's last victim that we know of. And she is more mysterious than anybody else. We don't know a whole lot about this woman at all. Mary Jane Kelly, generally considered the fifth and final victim, was found dead on November 9th, 1888. We don't know where she was from. She didn't really say, just didn't. So her body was mutilated to the point I can't imagine how long it took for him to do what he did. Yeah, she is the only one that has like an actual death photo, and it is revolting. I mean, I thought, but for 2 seconds, I thought, because it's black and white, and you really can't. It doesn't have a lot of contrast and shit. But no, man, it's disgusting. So, her body was discovered in a room that she leased on Dorset Street. So let me look. Let me grab. Oh well, let's just look at that's a lot of damage on her. Wow, she lived for she lived. She rented from a slumlord. What do you know? She also rented the room with other prostitutes and criminals. Oh my Lord. You couldn't even sleep there. My God. Because of the gruesomeness of the murder, police wanted to suppress information in order to stop the spread of rumors. Attempts to quell the rumors actually had the opposite effect. Mary Jane's enigmatic nature led to a slew of embellishments and contradictions. Okay, I get you. Then they would talk about Mary Jane's murky beginnings, which they're not that murky. I don't know. All right. Let me find her. I've lost her. But like I was thinking, all right, so here's what was the funny part. It ain't funny, but when I was reading, right, and I'm like, when Polly didn't have anything, thank you. I am, Little Dove, I am tired. I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning, and it is starting to show, but I appreciate it 100%. When I was reading about, not the blood, and I wondered for a second, why wouldn't they have blood? And then, because we just did, Lizzie Borden, and I remember they said there was no blood because she slit their throat. No, the first axe hit killed both of them. The first one killed the mom and killed the dad. And so after that, there wasn't a lot of blood. So I'm thinking, I already know this. I'm like little Miss, I'm like little Miss Marple. Miss Marple, if you will. All right, hold on. This is what I do with you, girl. Where you at, girl? Girl. There's also the first race, one of the first races of the year. It's supposed to happen yesterday, but it was going to rain, so they moved it up till the night. And my son was like, "Are you gonna cancel your you gonna cancel your live?" And I'm like, "No." And he looked at me and he said, "I thought I knew you." It's a heat race. It ain't like it's looking at anything else. Hold on, I'm finding there. Wait a minute. Yeah, because I got to read this to you. You ain't gonna believe it when I do. I don't even know what the hell this is about. Hold on, guys. I'm finding it. I know y'all getting hearing it. I know y'all getting sick of hearing this. You know what they say? It's gonna be the last one I got. Amy. I don't know what I did with it. All right, I'll find it. Wait a minute. I am so sorry. What's her name? Mary. Kelly. Oh yeah, it's gonna offer me the crime scene photo. Of course it is. Of course that's gonna happen. All right. Let me see if they have it all here. If they don't, I'll die. I'll just die. Miller Court. November 9th. Murder. Hold on. Okay. Oh God, there's a photograph. Boy ran. I know this that the landlord sent one of his workers over to her home or whatever you want to call it because she owed rent, like I want to say 3 months, and he knocked on the door. Obviously, no one answered. He stepped up on something to look into the window and saw what he saw. So, all right. The body lay naked in the middle of the bed, the shoulders flat, but the axis of the body inclined to the left side of the bed. The head was turned onto the left cheek. You know, he did that a lot. He turned their heads a lot too. Anyway, I don't know. The left arm was close to the body with the forearm flexed in a right angle and laying across the abdomen. The right arm was slightly abducted from the body. He cut her arm off basically, and he just left it on the mattress. The elbow was bent, the forearm with the fingers clenched. The legs were wide apart. The left thigh at right angles in the trunk to the trunk, and right forming obtuse angles to the pubis. Let's see. Whole of the surface of the abdomen and thighs was removed. He took all the skin off of her abdomen. I'm not even going to go through this anymore. He took everything off of her abdomen and he cut her legs down to the bone. He cut her face off and he cut her breasts off. There was nothing left in her that he had not either removed or just sliced into and laid it. She had flesh just laid on a nightstand table. He just left it there. So, and the skin off her legs, he took I want to say one of those he took down to the bone. So he was in there splashing around and having fun. Right, curious, right. So my question is, and it's more that I'm forgetting. I can tell you that. I don't know where that effing piece of paper went. Who stops doing that? Now, if Jack the Ripper, and he did those 5 murders, some say 11, but I'm talking about the 5. Why do you start? Why do you stop? Do you all, were you killed? Were you put in jail for something else? Did you leave? Because I think if those kind of crimes would have popped up anywhere else in the world, if you think about it, London was probably what New York is today, or, globally, London was, so in 1888 anyway. So what stops you, but what starts you? Some people thought he was a doctor. Some people think he's an artist. Some people think he's, that he is not very bright. Some people think, that letter or that little thing that he wrote, I don't believe for 1 minute he is, that dumb. So let's talk about some suspects. Now, I know y'all probably have heard of suspects. We've heard it could have been Queen Victoria's physician. Yeah. He won't worry. He's used to working in Little Dove. I hope you feel welcome here. I'm sorry. I know when I go, I got to go look over here for for my photographs, and I leave. But my favorite ladies usually cover for me, and I appreciate it. Yeah. Okay. So I got these names, and I got them from I won't say a reputable thing, but some of these people weren't even in England at the time. All right. But they might have been. Okay. We'll do it. Hobbs is a suspect that was in. Okay. Do I have him here? So I've got this Druitt guy, Montague Druitt, and he was the son of a surgeon. He was known for being bright, a little bright child and whatnot. He took a second job at a boarding school. He was a teacher, and he was I want to say a lawyer. And something would happen. Something happened at the boarding school. I don't know what. But then he was found dead, floating in the Thames. It's believed that it's believed that he committed suicide. Hey, Tracy, my love. So, yeah, he killed himself. So everybody said he's got to be it. Okay. Now, Druitt's case. Let's see. In 88, we're playing. All right. Member of Parliament. It was also a legitimate, actual. Tracy, I appreciate you so much. I'm literally running out. Y'all seeing me hit the wall. I was up at 5, having to do my work on the farm. I don't have a farm. All right, Halloween baby. I had to work on the farm today. Okay, so we have a George Chapman. Yeah. He's also has the last name of Klosowski. They thought it was him. Early life in Poland. He wanted to be a surgeon, I guess, and he later studied to be a surgeon. And then he moved over here in 1887 and decided he'd just come on to London. All right. He took a job as a hairdresser's assistant. Dorothy, daughter of the divine. Thank you for listening. Thank you. So this guy was going to be, he trained as a damn surgeon, but he came over to London and became a hairdresser's assistant. And then he became a barber. So good for him. You know, do you know that? See, I haven't gotten to that part of it yet that he's named because a lot of those crimes are a lot alike. And a lot of the crimes with H.H. Holmes, we'll never know what he did to them because they are long gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hadn't run across that because I ran through so many that were people were like, yes, they did it, and so this in 1887, I told you that he married a woman named Lucy, and despite having a wife back in Poland, the wife attempted to stop the relationship. However, the second wife was already pregnant, so she said, "You know what? You can have him." Yeah, that's great. So, and in 1991, the couple moved to the United States. It didn't go well, you don't think? But the second wife was pregnant again and went. Yeah, I don't know why they think he did it, but this guy's name is absolutely one of the ones that you'll see. You can go on wiki. James Maybrick. Okay. Unassuming cotton merchant. He was born in Liverpool. Due to his profession, he was constantly traveling between England and the United States. He moved to Virginia in 1871. Again, I gotta laugh because all right. So he moved to Virginia. That'll ruin a lot of people because I live in Virginia. So you know what I'm saying. He married a Florence Chandler. Okay. He met an American. That's good. She was 18 to 19. Good to hear it. He was 20 years her senior. And they got married. Oh. Didn't work out, though. Yeah, but they did because they both started having affairs. So in 1889, Maybrick's health suddenly took a dive. If you cheated on me, your health will take a real big dive. Yeah. So he ended up dying at 50. And his family became suspicious when they found arsenic in his medicine. And Chandler did actually kill him. So she went to jail. They released her in 1904, so that's good news. I mean, I'm sure she did her stuff. Now, here's why he's in 1992. Here's what I'm saying. When I read these to y'all are going to go, what? In 1992, not 1892, 1992, I was barely a girl then. And someone said they found his diary where he confesses to 5 murders, saying he exploded in rage when he found his wife having an affair. But nobody can produce the actual diary. So I wrote this whole piece of paper right here. That was a waste of my damn time. I wrote all that for myself. Okay. Yeah, this is the immigrant. We got him. Hold on. There's more. So I was intrigued I told y'all that at the beginning of this, the 2 guys that stumble upon Polly in the road. Now, so there's an inquest the next day, right? The guys, they give their names. Charles Cross. My name is Clyde Suckfinger, and they said, thank you very much, Clyde Suckfinger, and we'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Well, they found out that Charlie Cross gave the wrong name, and when they went to the address that he gave, nobody there knew him. Funny thing, though, he gave his name as Charles Allen cross. At the home, nobody lived there by that name, but a Charles Allen Lusquier lived there. So he lied twice, right? Big ones. When the inquest was in the paper, so he saw them saying, "Where the hell's the second guy?" So he shows up to day 2 of it, right? He lies again about something else. I can't remember what it was. So that's when we figure out that when he was walking to work, Charles, okay, and this other guy was walking, they would not have always been walking together because the other guy was late for work. So they might not have ever crossed each other's path. And I don't think that Charles, if he was the one, knew that guy was coming. He had to think on his feet. Like he told the cop, there's another cop there that needs you. So also his mother lives in the vicinity of the murders. And some people say he didn't like his mother. And his daughter also started to live with his mother. So that would have been in the, they like to work when they like to work where they're comfortable. And Charles was comfortable there. And Charles Cross was his name, but he had a stepdad. And in the 61 or 71 census, he is listed with his stepfather, whose name is Cross, or no, the other one. I can't remember. I don't know what it is. So that's another one. So then we got Patricia Cromwell, who is figured it out. I mean, basically, here's the thing: when you start reading somebody's theory and they tell you they've taken it all the way down to DNA, 2 people have done that. Then you're like, well, hell, I mean, that's got to be it. Patricia thinks that this artist is the killer. So what she did was she got one of his paintings and she took it apart. And where back then they made their own canvases, their own, whatevers. And they had the DNA from one of the letters sent into the news. All right. And supposedly she got a hit. They're the same DNA. All right. So the Ripper letter and either the Ripper was making his canvases or he was, so, all right. That's one thing. Then you have another, and I think it's one of these that I've just read. They have a Shaw, whoever they are. I don't know who they are. That they say was at the crime scene of one of the women. All right. Now, this Shaw has never been in any report, right? There's no, when the belongings are listed, there's no Shaw. So who would have picked it up out of the street? I don't, anyway. So this Shaw, they took a DNA sample from it. And it matches the mitochondrial DNA from, back. Here's my thing. You could never test any of these women's clothing. I mean, now I'm saying if we today, right, their clothing would have been covered in DNA. The dresses dragged through human waste. They were prostitutes. You're living 300 people to a dinky ass whatever. You got DNA all over your ass. So you know what I'm saying? I don't know. What is the mystery? What's the lure? What is it that it brings everybody back? He didn't kill the most people. I mean, hell, we've got serial killers over here that, a lot more have a lot more, whatever. So it's not that he killed the most people. It's not that he, I mean, it obviously was disgusting, don't get me wrong, horrible. But what keeps drawing the whole world back to him? I know, I kind of hope one day we do know, and then I kind of someday hope we don't. I think with DNA, we're getting so many hits off people now. We're getting hits off Jane Does, John Does, rape kits, which there's so many of them, we can never pay for them to have them tested, but that's another story for another day. Things like people are getting identified. So who knew? Who knew that we would be able to test something and know exactly, where you're from and all that. Exactly. That dude. I remember when that shit started happening. It was in People magazine, and when you have daughters, I don't say you don't worry about sons, but when you have daughters and you try to instill in them that, I mean, you pretty much you have to scare them to death. The world wants to kill you. Stop. Don't do anything stupid. Don't leave your friend. So there was a young girl murdered in the city. Oh, they finally caught. Yeah, they're gonna do it now. BTK, yep. But he also screwed up and didn't take off the where he used the church computer. Yeah. But yeah, I got that DNA first after that. So, it's going to happen at some point. Some point, I don't even know. You have to walk by and you poop. And you. All right, I'm putting all this up. Y'all watch me. Wait a minute. So, all right. I hate when I have to get up at 5 in the morning because I like my beauty sleep. And I had everything so organized. I knew something would happen. I knew something would happen. Damn it. Now, here's what I also wanted to say too. If there is ever a time when y'all want to revisit something, thank you. Thank you, daughter of the divine. If y'all want to revisit something, if y'all have seen something that's new and y'all want to discuss it, let me know. We can do it. We'll have it. I don't mind at all. And I didn't put all my shit up. I just put like my my files are right there. They ain't going nowhere. So if there's ever something you want to, like I said, revisit or whatever, feel free because we can do it. We can do it. I am gonna have I gotta give y'all a crash course on Truman Capote because that is tell you what, Jack the Ripper. There we go. Jack, it was nice spending the weekend with you. You can go to hello now. And I'll miss y'all girls. I missed the girls. I swear I felt when I get to I wanted, I get to the most that I could find out about them. And I just got so sad. It's so sad. In cold blood. Yeah. Todd, you're gonna love it. Gotcha, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. This is all right. So Truman Capote wrote the very first. Basically, it's what did he call it? Like it's almost like a novel, but it's true. It's you will not. Yeah, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I couldn't believe it. I've read so many books, and I had never considered reading one of Truman Capote's books, even though I liked him very much. And when I did, I thought, all right, this is why people love him. And here's another thing with Truman is he wrote, well, listen, he would write a lot of articles for magazines. He was very good, very smart, very in vogue. He was, and he would, yeah, he would. The only two books that he ever really finished were In Cold Blood and obviously Breakfast at Tiffany's. If you read Breakfast at Tiffany's, it is not anything like the movie. It's not the movie. Um, it's not the movie. It's because we know that Miss Golightly is a she's a prostitute, basically. I mean, hello. But in the book, you know it. You ain't guessing it. You know. Um, Let's meet. See, men was it last weekend when I took off Friday? I didn't do F it up Friday. I didn't do this, and I was spinning in my wheels. I did not know what to do. I didn't. I didn't. If I don't have a project, then I don't. You know. So yeah, I was lost, kind of lost without a project. So everybody, are y'all good with doing the Zodiac Killer? Um, I'm gonna have to go find options so that everybody can vote on them. I was trying to go through the like big ones. John List, I know he's so. Oh, John List. Do you remember Teresa when on yeah, that show when they rolled that bust out of him, and it was like, good Jesus. And they had that specific pair of glasses, which was exactly his glasses. Thank you, Sizzles. Thank you, Sour Girl. Walter wants H.H. Jones. Well, you can do it now. We can do that. We can do H.H. Jones. Let me put that on my calendar. H.H. Jones. There we go. It's on the calendar. You can't change it now. No, it'd help if I spelled it right. I don't know what I mean. Yeah, the list got back, but the guy that did the bust, or the guy that went to, like, what did he say, like a Goodwill or something? And he looked at those glasses. He said, "Yeah, he's the type that would have these cheap glasses," and they were the exact glasses the man had. And did you even know that in that house? I mean, people don't believe me, but it's true. In that damn house, the bodies were in the ballroom, and in that ballroom was a Tiffany chandelier that would have solved every problem he ever had. A Tiffany chandelier, and he stupidly didn't know it. The devil in the I have it. Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, I wrote that down. I wrote that down. It's right there. It's right there. It's right there. Right there. I'll pick it up and show you. I wrote that. Oh, thank you, Halloween baby. All right, I'm going to bed. I love y'all for sticking with me, even though I lost half the notes and I don't know where I could have lost them. I mean, we are in the same area, so I don't know. I love you guys so much. I really do. I love spending my Saturdays with y'all. And I thank Daughter of the Divine for finally talking to me and talking to us. Thank you. Thank you guys. I love you. We'll do something. I still have Jody Huisentrude over here, and I still have Trudy Appleby. I gotta do those. We'll talk this week because thank y'all. Y'all make it. All right. Be safe. Be warm. I'll see y'all sooner than you think. All right. Oh.